Welcome to the RadioU podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, one state says that your TV is watching you.
Also, the Delco Pooper is back.
All that and more on the way next. Stop me if this sounds familiar. A major change is coming to TSA checkpoints at some airports. 8772 RadioU. But I think this is a change for the good, actually.
Okay.
Some airports, for the first time since September 11th, like of 2001, that fateful day when everything changed with airport security, some airports are going to start offering guest passes so that you, if you're not traveling, can still go through security to the other side.
Wow.
To the gates. Why would this be useful? For me, I've thought this has come up a few times where maybe you're probably visiting family or you're visiting somebody and whoever's traveling needs to get to the airport for their flight.
Yeah.
And especially if like you're with family that's dropping you off and they drop you off and it's like, well, now we're going to sit around here for however many hours because I have some family that loves getting to the airport super early.
Yep.
And I specifically have some family that is very on that, but they will drop us off at the airport when we go to visit. Mm-hmm. And then we're stuck sitting at the airport for hours.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, it'd be nice if we could like make a little more of our time that we had together. And maybe they could come through and all the good restaurants are inside the terminal.
Yeah.
Well, now that's a possibility.
It is.
This is something that I've definitely crossed my mind before.
Right.
But I never knew that you used to be able to do that before September 11th.
You used to be able to do this. And also people used to go sometimes on their lunch breaks.
Just to hang out at the airport.
Yeah, because it's almost like going to a mall's food court.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these different food options. And so sometimes people would go and, eat there. I don't know why you would want to do that nowadays because it's so expensive.
It's way more, yeah.
Yeah, but
There's a very
believe
specific
people used
scenario.
to do that. Yeah.
But there are some places too where the restaurants inside some of the restaurants that are inside the airport are different than like I'm in some places there's In-N-Outs in the airport and there's not like In-N-Outs in the rest of the town.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a good example of like maybe you just really In-N-Out, if anything's that good, apparently I've never been to In-N-Out.
Right.
If anything's good enough that you're willing to pay more and go inside an airport to get it, it's probably In-N-Out.
Yeah. And there's also some cool, fun stores in there. Again, everything is very expensive compared to the rest of the,
you can we can finally shop at the Hudson News without buying an airline ticket.
So I feel like, it's just a way for people to come and enjoy what's available at the airport, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But again, I really don't know practically why you would be doing this other than for the scenario that you propose, which is like you're hanging out with your friends or your family that's about to go on a trip.
Yeah.
And you don't want them to be alone or
somebody's
whatever.
like, we need to be at the airport. We need to get through security. You don't know how long it's going to take.
Right.
And then it doesn't take that long and you have a lot of time to just waste.
Yeah.
But also sometimes after you visit family for a while and they drop you off at the airport, you're like, how many hours early can you drop us off?
Yeah, I need this separation. Please do not offer them a guest pass.
Also, it is. It looks like it's not the type of thing where you just walk up to security and they, you're just like, hey, I'm not traveling. Can you let me through? You have to apply for this online up to 7 days in advance of the visit to the airport. So you got to really plan ahead.
Honestly, I'm happy that you have to plan ahead like that because I don't want it to be just something random somebody can just pick to do.
Yeah.
Feels a little more safe that way.
Yeah. I feel like this is probably something that is just not going to come up all that much.
Yeah.
But at least it's an option now. And I just like having options.
Me too.
Finally happening tomorrow. Jake Paul is engaging in a seemingly pretty real fight versus Anthony Joshua on Netflix.
Oh, boy.
And, I feel like we need to weigh in with our thoughts. We need to preview. He's finally doing a real fight. So we've talked about a lot of his fake fights. It's only right that we talk about the real one.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued, so I'm not saying anything as far as if they are fake or not. Mm-hmm. But I do think that this is probably the first fight that I would say is more legitimate than the others. So, I don't really know how this is going to go. My lean is that Jake Paul will somehow win just because he's Jake Paul and this is his thing. But my hope is that Anthony Joshua wins.
My thinking is that this is going to go to distance.
Okay.
There's not going to be a knockout here. If you're hoping for a knockout, this is not the fight for you.
Are you thinking TKO or just actual, like, they determine the winner, the judges determine the winner?
Yeah, this is going to be a judge's decision. Anthony Joshua probably wins because he's actually a real boxer. But the story afterwards is going to be like, can you believe Jake Paul could last so long? And he put up such a good fight against Anthony, a real fight. This is what you wanted, right? A real fight. And Jake Paul went the distance against a heavyweight champion. He must be pretty good. And I feel like I'm already primed to not believe whatever. Unless it's the knockout that everyone kind of is waiting for, I feel like I'm just not going to believe it.
I'm certainly hoping for a knockout. I'd love to see that. Actually, no, I don't love to see that. I don't even watch boxing, but just more in the sense of I kind of hope Jake Paul gets what's coming to him. But I don't think that's how it will go, like you said. I could see something happening similar where there is a judge's decision, but it's like one of those really controversial decisions. Yeah. And at the end, you're like, did they really win?
And it's like all a part of the story. Right. It's like, it feels like wrestling.
Yeah.
Where like, we're not going to get a fight. We're going to get a story when it's all done.
And it's like the resolution isn't good.
Right.
It's like, we're going to need a part two or something.
Yes. We're going to need another fight. And because you're right, 100%. It's not going to be a clear cut anything.
Yeah.
It is interesting though. Not only is Anthony Joshua a champion boxer, if you look at the picture, like he is way bigger than Jake Paul too. So that is,
oh my gosh, yeah.
That is going to be a chat. Like this is, if Jake Paul somehow manages to win, which I severely doubt, but also will reject if it happens, it'll feel more impressive just because of that factor. Yeah. But how can they orchestrate?
I don't know. Anthony Joshua would have to be in on it.
Exactly. Hollywood's biggest night has found a new home.
Okay.
8772 Radio U. The Oscars will no longer be found on ABC.
Wow.
Starting in 2029.
Okay, so a few years down the road.
Yeah. Instead, the Oscars are coming to YouTube.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a bold move, Oscars.
The Academy has just signed a deal with YouTube that will make it the exclusive home of obviously the main ceremony, of course, but also red carpet coverage, behind the scenes content, and other Academy events, in case anybody cares about that. They'll only be on the Oscars YouTube channel and will no longer be featured on ABC starting in 2029. So that'd be the next 3 Oscars will still be on ABC. Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty far ways out.
Yeah, but this is a huge move for the industry to be moving from a traditional, television channel to online streaming in YouTube. Like, that's huge for the Oscars to make this move. But I kind of like it. It makes it a little more accessible because not everybody is watching ABC anymore.
I do feel like at this point it streams on Disney Plus probably too, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
I think it does stream on Disney Plus and then shows up on Hulu the next day or something.
I literally bought though a antenna, like those black mats you put on the wall, so that I could watch the Oscars. Right. Anything else that was on regular TV, I either didn't care about or like all the sports, there was a way. Yeah. There was no way to watch the Oscars except on ABC, so I had to that was what forced me to get one of those black mats which was a great move. It was like $15 and you can watch all the sports and whatever that's on regular TV.
I think most people should have antennas, but a lot of people don't. And so that's why this makes it more accessible. And we've been talking about, I think last year's ratings were an improvement over the past 10 years. But overall, viewership and interest in the Oscars has been down. So what's a great way to help boost that, make it more available to people, make it more accessible where they already are. A lot of people that enjoy movies go to YouTube for film commentary and trailers and all of those things. And so I feel like this is just a natural home for the Oscars in kind of a weird way.
And of course, YouTube having this, and it's a pretty big deal, so YouTube will promote it. So all the people that, like, almost everybody's on YouTube. So they're going to be seeing it where like you said, where they already are. Another good news thing to me about this is that the Oscars being on ABC, some years have turned into where it's just like, yes, it's the award ceremony, but it just feels like a huge commercial for everything Disney.
Yeah.
Especially as Disney has grabbed up and owned more and more of the movie industry. It's just like, oh my gosh, stop. Like, I don't mind if you promote stuff, but it's just like exclusively just like, hey, here's Disney stuff, and it gets out of hand.
Yeah, it gets old.
Here's the bad news. This is on streaming on YouTube. Who's to say how long the Oscars ceremony can be? They can make it as long as they want.
Yeah, they can make it 8 hours.
Yeah, which will allow for some of the good stuff that I feel like has been cut, like song performances.
Yeah.
But also, these speeches could go on forever.
It's true.
Adrian Brody is going to be going insane.
Yeah, they don't need to really worry about commercial breaks as much anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sure they still will.
I'm curious how they'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they still will have built-in commercials and things like that, but because I would imagine, is it going to be live or is it going to be premiered? Because
it'll be live.
Okay. I wasn't sure if the Oscars were pre-recorded or not.
No, yeah, definitely not. So, yeah, I'm excited about this. It's not going to be perfect, of course, but I'm excited. And now the countdown begins.
Till 2029.
February or March of 2029. I have here a Delco Pooper update. Yes.
That is a long pleasure. What?
She should have had, if only she had a toilet available to her. How things would be different. 8772 RadioU. You might remember this story from earlier this year. It blew up on our YouTube. A woman in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, became known as the Delco Pooper.
Yep.
Her name is Christina Solamito. She's 44 years old, and she is known as a Delco Pooper because in a road rage incident, she got out of her car and pooped on the hood of another vehicle.
Oh, the most insane act ever captured on film.
Yeah.
Like, just what are you doing?
I love going back through the details of this. Apparently, she was waiting to turn behind some other vehicle, and that vehicle wouldn't go. She was struggling with stomach issues. Says she honked her horn at the person she was behind. The person, the way it's described, is mocked her. I don't know from their car, inside their car, what they did to mock her.
Yeah.
I guess I have some guesses, but the Delco Pooper decided to drive around the car and turn left. Then that car began following her.
Oh, boy.
Then she got out of her car, Christina Solamito, the Delco Pooper. She got out of her car to confront the driver who insulted her again, and that's when she couldn't hold it any longer and decided to poop on that car instead. Her quote, the Delco Pooper's quote was, "I wanted to punch her in the face, but I pooped on her car instead and went home."
What an insane statement.
This is the best quote. She said to police, "It was a clean poop. I didn't even have to wipe."
Oh, no.
Even though based off of the video recorded by 17-year-old Greg Ferrari, that it did not seem to be the case to me.
I don't even want to think about that. Nope. No.
So fast forward to today, the update. She was charged with indecent exposure, harassment, criminal mischief, disorderly conduct, open lewdness, and depositing waste on a highway. But it sounds like she is going to avoid jail time, and actually her charges may be dismissed and expunged.
Wow.
Why? Because she is opting to enter the Pennsylvania Accelerated Rehabilitative Disposition Program.
Okay.
She must complete 24 months of probation, anger management classes, and community service. Also, she cannot post about her case on social media. That's tough.
Yeah.
That is tough. But if she accomplishes all those things, her charges will be dropped.
And her case could be expunged. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty good deal, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, apparently she was a first-time offender. She's never pooped on any other cars.
That's great.
At least she's never been caught. So hopefully she can change her ways and get the anger management she needs.
I feel like that's a pretty low bar,
Yeah.
To
all she needs to do is not poop on cars anymore.
Never poop on a car.
Yeah, but like I said, it's tough. She can't post about her case on social media. This is the type of thing that she blew up when this happened.
She certainly did.
And for good reasons or bad, this is the type of thing that you could totally turn into a social media career. She could start a podcast. She would have a following. She could be the new Hawk Tua girl.
After it's done, like after the case has been dismissed and everything, would she be able to post about it then?
I suppose, right?
So maybe she can profit off of it after
she just
all of
has
this
to
is
wait.
done.
It's 24 months.
Yep.
2 years from now, get ready. The Delco Pooper starting a podcast. And probably some kind of Bitcoin crypto scheme.
That would be wild.
It's time for what is normally our Friday tradition. We moved it up to Thursday for a couple of reasons. It's our football picks. Allie and I make selections on 4 of the biggest games in college and the NFL this week, plus 1 upset special each. And whoever does worse gets punished on the show on Monday.
All right.
Let's get started in college.
Alabama at Oklahoma.
Well, this is a tough one for me because this is an on-the-road game, playoff environment for Alabama. That's going to be a tough out at Norman. But I will say, it's also hard to beat the same team twice. Oklahoma beat Alabama earlier in the year. And I just think it's going to be too much to get it done twice in a row. So I'm going to actually give the nod to the away team, which sounds insane during the playoffs. But I'm going to go with Alabama.
I'm picking Alabama, too. I'm a little surprised we agree, but why am I picking Alabama? The first time they played, Oklahoma did win. But if you looked at everything except the final score, like all the other stats, Alabama should have won. They massively actually outplayed Oklahoma. But couldn't get it, like they just didn't get the scores.
Yeah.
So I think Alabama has a lot more potential. Plus, there's a lot of talk about how, like, Oklahoma's a great defense and Alabama cannot run the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, but Oklahoma can't run or pass.
Yeah, they have a really bad offense, too.
Oklahoma can't do anything. So Alabama for me.
Miami at Texas A&M.
Am I doing it twice in a row? I'm going with another away team. I'm picking the Miami Hurricanes. I think Texas really exposed some weaknesses in Texas A&M, and South Carolina did too. And so I think Miami is going to get the jump on the Aggies.
All right, we'll disagree here because I think this is the toughest game Miami's played since they played Notre Dame in week 1. And this is on the road in a much different environment than Miami's played in this year. And I think I have a coaching advantage. Like, Mike Elko's a better coach than Mario Cristobal. So I'm taking Texas A&M.
Rams at Seahawks.
Tonight.
Yeah, this is a Thursday night game. It's a great game. Both teams have 11 wins. Both have had incredible seasons. But I'm picking what I believe to be the better offense in this game, and that is the LA Rams.
I'm going to take the Seahawks. I don't love the Seahawks, but they, similar kind of to the Alabama-Oklahoma thing, when the Seahawks and Rams played earlier in LA, the Seahawks had a field goal kick to win the game that they missed, and that was with Sam Darnold having 4 interceptions. Now they're at home. The Rams are a little banged up with injuries. I think the Seahawks at home. I don't think this means the Seahawks are a better team overall, but I just think in this spot, I like the Seahawks.
Patriots at Ravens.
I'm going with the Patriots here. The Ravens are favored, but I actually think the Patriots will come out with the win on this one.
I agree. Patriots. The Ravens are no good.
Upset
no.
special.
All right, I am going with a wild upset. Am I going to do it 3 times? Yes, indeed, I am. I am picking Tulane to upset Ole Miss in the playoffs. Another away team getting the win. Tulane and Ole Miss actually played early on in the season, and Tulane kept it close through the first half. I think the difference here is that there has been a lot of distraction for Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin leaving. I think Ole Miss is just going to be distracted, and Tulane is very motivated as a group of 5 teams. So I think it's going to be a very, very close game, and something weird's going to happen, and Tulane's going to win.
Okay, I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans over the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs just had their dreams crushed. Their season's over. Literally, they can't make the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is out. I think this is a team that obviously has been shown that they're not very good this year anyways. Now they're about to get even worse, and they have nothing to play for. The Titans, they're going to be excited to get any win they can get. And so they're at home. I think the Titans will just be more motivated, more locked in, and they'll want to show out a little bit if they get the chance. And the Chiefs will probably be pretty anxious to just pack it up and go home. So Titans for me for upset special. That's our football picks. Coming up on Monday, one of us will be punished, whoever picked worse. But coming up here next, we have to revisit, now that the college football playoffs are about to start, our picks from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And see how well we did. The college football playoffs start tomorrow. Allie and I, at the beginning of the season in the RadioU podcast, made our predictions for the teams that would make the playoff. We don't need to go through all 12 that each of us picked, but I counted up. Allie, you got 5 out of the 7, or 5 out of 12.
Okay.
Yes, was 5 right, 7 wrong for the college football playoff. I got 3.
Both of us not great.
Not great. Well, both of us had Notre Dame, which I feel like we kind of were unfairly robbed of being right about that.
Yeah.
But we also had Notre Dame being ranked 3rd in the country, which is obviously much too high.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is not, obviously it's hard to get these right, but neither of us had Texas Tech.
Yep.
Neither of us had Indiana.
I totally whiffed on Indiana.
We did a whole preview. We didn't even mention Indiana.
Nope, they were not on the radar.
They weren't. I know they were ranked at the beginning of the year, but I feel like we're not alone that we weren't really thinking about Indiana and weren't taking them seriously, which says even more how impressive their accomplishments are this year, but we did not give them any credit at all.
I blame the talking heads. The talking heads really distracted us with Penn State and Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the big teams they were trying to get everyone to buy up. If this was the stock market exchange of college football teams, at the beginning of the year, every podcast, every show that talks about college football, all they could talk about was Penn State and Clemson because they had all of this talent returning.
Yeah.
Well, so what? Just because you have talent returning doesn't mean your team's going to be good. And that talent might not be as good as somebody else's talent that's new.
This is the lesson. I was going to say, what's the lesson you've learned from this year?
Yeah.
My lesson is that returning production is usually the term that's used. Doesn't matter as much as, that's one of the top things people will mention. But it doesn't actually matter because if your players are good, they leave for the NFL.
Right.
They go somewhere. They go play in the NFL or what? Like, it's rare that you have like Jeremiah Smith, who's a starter from a beginning and just good the entire time and has several years before he can enter the NFL draft. More often, you're having guys that didn't play as much last year that weren't starters rise up to take roles, or guys from the transfer portal that were at other schools that come in if you're going to be a good team. So that is, I feel like, a lesson learned that we bought in, at least I did, to Clemson and Penn State, which I still think there's a universe where, like, if Penn State somehow comes back in the UCLA game, they're in the playoff.
Yeah.
James Franklin never gets fired, but because of that game.
And it was a narrow loss to Oregon.
Right.
An overtime game. They very easily could have won that game and their whole season would have been different. I still think they would have probably gotten one loss down the road, but that would have not been.
They played Ohio State and Indiana both.
Right.
So.
And so I still think they probably would have lost 1 or 2 of those games, but they would still be in the playoff with those 2 losses most likely. So I think that's definitely a big lesson to learn. I did not buy into Clemson because I did not like Cade Klubnik at all, but I definitely bought into the Penn State hype because I had them at 5 in my playoff prediction, and obviously they are nowhere near that.
But the good news is both of our champions are still alive.
Yes, I picked Ohio State to win, and you picked Alabama, right?
I picked Alabama.
Yeah.
Don't feel as good about that, but the journey begins tomorrow.
Okay.
Against Oklahoma. All right, stop me if this sounds familiar. A new variant is causing a surge in sickness among people this winter.
Oh, yeah, we've heard this.
8772 Radio U. In this case, it is a new flu variant, And apparently, flu cases are sharply rising. There's been a big uptick in flu cases, and apparently it's supposed to get even worse.
Okay.
Worse than it is. This is a new variant called the novel H3N2 variant called Subclade K.
Subclade.
It just rolls off the tongue. It's a mutated offshoot of the influenza A virus. It has been particularly bad overseas, like they're saying in the UK. This has been a huge issue, but it's starting to make its way to the United States as well. And so there's a new round of the flu that's heading around. And the reason that this is so problematic is because the seasonal flu vaccine that you can just go to anywhere and get is not really made to deal with this variant.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with flu vaccines. It's all a guess. We don't actually know what variants are going to be the ones that, are the problem.
Yeah, so usually it's semi-accurate where like they can obviously new flu variants pop up after the vaccine is made.
Yeah.
But they kind of, I guess the people who make the vaccines have a pretty good guess of what it's going to do.
Okay.
And so they can equip, and it's going to still share similarities to the current flu that's going around.
Sure.
And so they can kind of actually get it right. But this one, it was different than they were
Totally
expecting.
new.
And so while the vaccine is not completely useless against this, it's just not helping as much as a normal seasonal flu vaccine would, which means more people are getting more sick.
Yeah, I've never really been able to find help in a flu vaccine, but I just think it's just this is just how it's going to be every single year. I feel like we see a new article like this every year where it's like there's a new variant. We had no idea this was out there, and it's coming after us, and flus are on the rise, and all of this, and just like. It just seems like a tape that we just keep hearing over and over again. It's like a broken record.
But now I'm thinking of all the people that have already had the flu because, flu season's been going on for a month or two.
I mean, I was sick not that long ago.
Yeah.
I didn't have the flu,
yeah,
though.
even everybody who's been sick and not sure, it's like, oh, great. Have I already gotten this over with? Or
I do not want to get sick
because that's
again.
what was happening with COVID is some people were like, remember,
Right.
like everybody was like,
was
I think I
guessing.
already had it in January, actually. And that's what this flu vaccine or the variant is going to be the same thing. It's like, well, I was sick in October, even though this variant of the flu was hardly here yet. So I think hopefully I'm good, but otherwise you could be setting yourself up for a second round of flu,
Right.
and this one could be worse.
You could have antibodies for it because, I mean, that's what a vaccine is.
Right.
It's injecting yourself with, like, the ability to, it's almost like you've already had it when you have a vaccine. And so, you could, if you've been sick already, maybe have the antibodies to fight something like this off. But if it's completely new and different from whatever you had, there's no guarantee.
It's probably, I'm sure you're probably more equipped to fight this if you already had the flu this year or if you had a vaccine. But that doesn't mean you're immune to this.
No.
You definitely could get the flu again. So I have another idea. My idea is shelter in place.
No.
But only from work. I'm sheltering in place. We're going to have to broadcast from home until flu season is over. All right, 8772 Radio U. Let us know between Allie and I which one of us picks better and which picks we miss. Today's first to worst. Our topic is Christmas movie characters. We're picking our favorite and also the worst. I get to go first. For the first, I'm choosing Buddy the Elf.
Ooh.
Buddy the Elf
Good pick.
embodies like everything that's good about Christmas, right?
Sure.
He's innocent. He's hopeful. He's full of wonder. Playful. So, and he's funny. Buddy the Elf is a funny guy. So, Buddy the Elf is my choice for first. There's no downsides to him.
I would say that's probably true.
For worst, I am choosing Henry Potter
Oh.
from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, yep, that's a good pick.
A villain with absolutely no redemption to him whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. He steals from George Bailey. And he already owns so much of Bedford Falls.
Yeah.
And it's still not enough.
Nope.
He has to take down George Bailey along the way. A horrible character. He's a horrible man.
Very terrible person.
We should probably get a backstory movie on him explaining why he's not that bad.
No, we don't need that one.
All right, Allie, what's your picks?
Okay, for first, I'm going with Kevin McAllister. He's got a great character arc. He starts out with being like, I want to live alone. When I grow up and get married, I'm living alone, which is a great line, by the way. When I grow up and get married, I'm going to live alone. And he's got a great character arc. He obviously understands why family is important by the end of the movie. And also you get to see him from being afraid to pack his own suitcase to suddenly being able to go buy groceries on his own, clean up the whole house. Somehow he gets that house looking pretty much immaculate other than Buzz's room, and and does amazing things to defend his home. For worst, I'm sticking with the same movie, Home Alone. I'm going with Uncle Frank, who is, for some reason, needlessly mean to an 8-year-old
Uncle
child.
Frank is ridiculous.
He's awful.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
Yeah, he's the jerk in the situation.
Yeah.
And also, when, Kate is absolutely panicked, understandably so, that she just left her 8-year-old son at home, Uncle Frank happens to throw in a line that he left his glasses, his reading glasses, as if that's anywhere comparable. So he is just overall a pretty terrible person, like, Mr. Potter, as you were saying. Just no redeemable qualities about this man. He is just not a great person.
Oh, 8772 Radio U. Let us know for Christmas movie characters which one of us chose better and which picks did we miss. Once again, I have Buddy the Elf as first and Henry Potter from It's a Wonderful Life as the worst. Allie?
I have Kevin McAllister for first and Uncle Frank for worst, both from Home Alone.
8772 Radio U. Let us know your thoughts. We'll see what people are saying about this. Today's topic on First to Worst Thursday, Christmas movie characters. I had the first pick. I went with Buddy for first, and I went with Henry Potter from It's a Wonderful Life for worst.
For my picks, I went with Kevin McAllister for first and Uncle Frank for worst.
Now, Brandon at 8772 Radio U did not vote for either of us. He just gave his picks. He says The Grinch for first and Harry and Marv, the Wet Bandits, for worst.
No! Okay. Yeah. Are they great people? Absolutely not.
They're bad people.
They're flooding people's homes and also stealing from them. And
it's their calling card.
Right. It's their calling card, which really backfires. But they make the movie. Like, if they weren't in the
comedy.
Right. If they weren't in the movie, Home Alone doesn't work. We heard from Susanna. She says she's voting for you, Hudson, because of Mr. Potter. She says she's voting for you even though Buddy annoys her greatly.
That's how good my pick
Your
for
worst
worst was. Jessica says, Allie, mostly because of Uncle Frank. He is the worst. More of a villain than anything.
He really is a villain for no reason. We heard from Chad. He says, I'm going to have to go with Allie simply because when Elf came out, I was suffering from Will Ferrell overdose. Best character for him is Clark Griswold. He's definitely an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
Worst is the old woman from Gremlins, Mrs. Ruby Deagle. I don't even know if I remember who that is.
Yeah, I need to rewatch Gremlins. I do love Gremlins a lot, but I don't know who everybody is. Regina says, Uncle Frank leeches off Kevin's family for the vacation. I'm going to go with Allie for this, and that Kevin shows real compassion and wisdom to old man Marley and the pigeon lady in the second one.
That's true.
Regina also says, I love Buddy, but not really a character arc as much, considering he still sits on Papa Elf's lap at the end.
He starts, ends the movie right where it starts.
Yep.
We heard from Jesse. He said, Clark Griswold is the best. I agree with both of your worst, but got to give it to Hudson for Buddy. I mean, I'm wearing elf socks as we speak.
Nice. Chris, our very own Chris says, I like Hudson's picks, but also I would say best would be Linus from Charlie Brown Christmas, and the worst would be Drunk Santa and Miracle on 34th Street.
Any type of drunk Santa that shows up is pretty bad. Like the Santa that's smoking in Home Alone is pretty bad too.
Yeah, I guess so. And
the Santa in A Christmas Story is awful. The one that pushes Ralph on his head.
You'll shoot your eye out.
That's a traumatic experience for poor Ralph.
Also, speaking of bad Santas, how about the characters in Bad Santa? There's a lot of them that would actually probably qualify for worst.
Yeah, you're right. We heard from Matthew. He says, I think the worst is the neighbor in Jingle All the Way.
Oh, Phil Hartman. Come on. He's just helpful. He's helpful and friendly.
Oh, so funny.
He's just making cookies. Come on.
We got to give some honorable mentions, though.
Yeah.
I
Hold on. Let's do that next.
Okay.
I think we're going to get more texts anyways. Text in your thoughts and your honorable mentions, first to worst, Christmas movie characters. Yet again, my choices are Buddy for first, Buddy the Elf, and Henry Potter from It's a Wonderful Life for worst.
I've got Kevin McAllister for first and Uncle Frank for worst.
We'll do honorable mentions and more of people's votes coming up. We're still doing first to worst. It's first to worst Thursday. Today's first to worst topic is Christmas movie characters. I had the first pick. I chose Buddy the Elf for first and Henry Potter from It's a Wonderful Life for worst. Allie, your picks.
I chose Kevin McAllister for first and Uncle Frank for worst.
We've had a lot of thoughts coming in on honorable mentions and votes. We heard from Caleb recently who said first, Yukon Cornelius from Rudolph. Of
Nice.
course. He is a fun one. And worst, Heat Miser from The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Oh, but
without Heat Miser, we wouldn't have the Thousand Foot Crutch version of Heat Miser.
I was going to say
song.
the Heat Miser and Snow Miser songs are amazing.
They are epic.
I love those songs. But Yukon Cornelius, what a great name, right?
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
come on. That name is amazing. Oh, Eric, we knew this would be coming at some point. First, John McClane.
Oh my gosh. That's fine. Good choice.
He said, worst is Neil from the Santa Claus. He tells the kid that Santa is fake. That's right. Neil is like the stepdad.
I like Neil, though.
I mean, Neil seems
Judge
very
Reinhold.
He seems very level-headed, but it
Yeah.
is true. He kind of crushes Charlie's dreams.
But he has a character arc, too. Like, he
becomes
bounces back
better.
by the end of the movie and then into Santa Claus 2.
He does become better.
And then, actually, no, I was going to say he disappears before the show, but he shows up, I think, in the Santa Claus show on Disney+.
Oh, I've
It's
never
actually
watched
worth
it.
watching.
I've never watched it.
Matthew says, I think the worst, he said the worst is the neighbor and Jingle All the Way. We covered that. He says the best is Jack Skellington.
Jack Skellington. Okay, so he's fully in on A Nightmare Before Christmas being
Yeah.
a Christmas movie.
Yeah, well, it is. What are your honorable mentions you wanted to get to?
I mean, obviously, you have to consider George Bailey for first as well because he's a great character and a great, it's a great story. But
Everybody is better off without him, though. So
I also love Ralphie. His story to me is very relatable in A Christmas Story, and that's one of my favorite Christmas movies. I love Tim Allen in the Santa Claus films. But I really want to give honorable mentions for worst because there were several that I was mulling over before I ended up going with Uncle Frank.
Yeah.
One of them was Fuller because he wets the bed, but I couldn't blame him because he's a kid.
Yeah.
And then another was Buzz, but also Buzz kind of has a sweeter moment at the end with Kevin, so he has a little bit more of a redeeming arc, and it's a little more acceptable because it's like, sibling rivalry, that type of thing. And then another one I thought of for worst, but again, disqualified him because he's a kid, is the know-it-all kid from Polar Express. He's very annoying. His voice is very annoying, but he's a kid.
I mentioned this before that I have a special soft spot for, I guess, some kind of bias against the know-it-all kid because my parents always said that I was that kid. Yeah. Which I didn't appreciate that. My honorable mentions for first, both the Santa Claus in Klaus and the Norm Macdonald character because I love them both. Who else for first? I have a couple for worst too. I recently watched 8-Bit Christmas for the first time.
Oh, I've seen that actually. That's on HBO Max, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The kid with the Nintendo Power Glove that knocks the TV over onto the dog.
Yes.
He's definitely up there for worst. Also, the book publisher guy, not James Caan in Buddy in Elf, but the guy who's his boss.
Yeah.
Mr. Greenway or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Up there for worst, right?
Yep.
And I recently watched That Christmas on Netflix.
Haven't seen that.
There's a couple good characters in that. I like the Santa Claus played by Brian Cox. I also like the woman that's the teacher at the school is actually very nice.
Okay.
Even though she starts off being mean. And so I just watched that last night. She's a good character.
All right.
I guess I wouldn't ever pick her first, but I just liked her story in that movie.
Yeah. There's
So
a lot of good Christmas movies and a lot of good Christmas characters.
it's really hard to narrow it down.
It is hard to narrow it down, but also I feel like we chose like two of the most iconic people.
Yeah, definitely. Kevin and Buddy the Elf.
And Clark Griswold, I know a lot of people mentioned him, but he
Yeah.
also needs to be an honorable mention. I feel like that might
Very-
be on the Mount Rushmore for me. You know, I don't know
Very-
who I would add to number 4. Maybe George Bailey.
He's relatable, Clark Griswold, but I couldn't have picked him because he is he has a good heart, but he is kind of a jerk.
He does have some
He's
jerk
just like
moments.
a classic 80s
Dad?
that's
Yeah.
like, it's okay for him to be mean sometimes. I had the strangest dream last night that I was sitting on the couch and the TV was watching me. 8772 Radio U. Apparently it wasn't a dream, it was reality. According to the state of Texas,
Okay.
where they are suing 5 major TV manufacturers on behalf of residents of Texas, claiming that these TVs are actually spying on people that own them.
I mean, we already had Birds Aren't Real Night. Are we going to do TVs Aren't Real Night?
TVs are a tool of I guess the government is suing them, so it's not the government, but TVs are watching you and using that against you. Texas has filed a lawsuit against each of these TV manufacturers: Sony, Samsung, LG, Hisense, and TCL. Like basically the biggest.
Basically all of them.
Yeah, if you have a TV in your home, odds are it's made by one of these.
them.
Because they claim in these lawsuits that their smart TVs secretly record what you are watching in your own home without your consent. So actually, I'm off the hook. I don't have a smart TV. Do you have a smart TV?
I do, but it's a Fire TV from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
it's
So,
not one
maybe
of
you're off
these.
the hook. Yeah.
Well, Amazon's probably keeping track of everything.
too.
Come on. We
Yeah.
know Amazon's keeping track of all of that stuff.
According to the lawsuit, these companies use automated content recognition technology that can take screenshots of a TV screen many times per second and send that data back to the manufacturer, exposing viewing habits in real time.
What? It shouldn't be insane, but that is insane.
It is, and it starts to get worse. At least, it sounds like similar concerns as to what a lot of people were worried about with TikTok.
Yep.
It says that Hisense and TCL are based in China, and the lawsuits raise additional security concerns about foreign access to our consumer data with the Chinese laws.
Yes. I know people have used this as a conspiracy theory, but this has been like the whole idea of like the Chinese like takeover or whatever. And it's the idea that they would just like completely understand the American mind and what we want. And how are they going to do that? By understanding our habits of what we watch and what we consume on a daily basis. How are you going to do that? You get in someone's television, so you're in their home, and then you get in somebody's cell phone, so you're with them wherever they go.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of scary.
It is a little scary. I'm glad I don't have a smart TV.
But you do have a smartphone and you do have TikTok.
Yeah.
So you're not completely free of this.
Yeah, but I love them,
Yeah.
so I can't.
I love being surveilled.
Whatever it takes. I'm willing to trade in for still having my phone and TV.
That's the problem. Is it's like it feels like these things are so ingrained in our society now that it's like it's a massive inconvenience to get rid of them. I don't want to go back to a dumb TV.
And the thing, like I think a lot of people said about TikTok, and it would be true about TVs and phones generally, is that how are they actually using it against me personally? And if it's not against me personally, then it's pretty hard for us to be convinced to give up something like TikTok or your TV or your phone for the national good.
And exactly, it's true. Us Americans, we only care about ourselves.
And what good has America ever done for me anyways? Now I'm supposed to trade in my TikTok and my Sony TV for the country?
Maybe.
No, thank you. This headline was pretty wild to me, and when you read into it, it becomes a little less crazy, but also still crazy. One of the Bears CEOs, the CEO of the Chicago Bears, Kevin Warren, is the president and CEO, is threatening to move the Chicago Bears out of Chicago.
What?
Which sounds crazy, right? They're the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, they've been there basically since the NFL started.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like 100 years they've been at Soldier Field, something like that. It's one of the oldest stadiums, and they've been obviously.
They've played there since 1971.
Okay, so one of the oldest stadiums in the NFL, but the Chicago Bears predate the NFL,
Yeah.
right? So, and obviously they've been in Chicago the whole time. When he says moving them out of Chicago, what he means is Chicago proper.
Oh.
Because so that's what makes it like less crazy. It's not like he's talking about moving them to Nebraska or something. He just means out of the city of Chicago itself. But he's talking about, because the problem is they're trying to build a new stadium. Soldier Field is old. It's been around. It is one of the oldest stadiums in the NFL.
Yeah.
And so he's talking about moving them and building the new stadium elsewhere where they can get some of the stuff that they're trying to get the city of Chicago to give them. So, like some of it relates to infrastructure, roads, blah, 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 to make the area be able to accommodate the stadium. Some of it, I'm sure, is like tax stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
And so he's talking about even moving them to Northwest Indiana, out of the state of Illinois entirely.
Oh, they can't be the Chicago Bears at that point.
They would. I mean, the Washington football team continue being Washington. They aren't in Washington. They still aren't. But that has
Chicago's
been a roundly criticized
city.
move that has been bad for the team.
Yeah. I mean, Washington, D.C. is a district, right?
Yes.
Not technically a city?
I think it's a city.
Okay.
The district is the District of Columbia.
Okay, that's fair.
Washington is the city.
Washington's the city. Okay. I don't know. I feel like it's tough to be the Chicago Bears not in Chicago.
They're not going to change the name. Although, you know
But I
what?
guess
You
that
know what is in Northwest Indiana? Gary. Please
The
give us the
Gary
Gary
Bears?
Bears. Make the NFL team the Gary Bears.
I love it.
That would be amazing.
I love it so much. Yeah, I guess
Then
that
there'd be
is
no
true.
team that fits that better than the Bears themselves.
It's true. The SNL skits that could come from that. But I guess it is true that other teams in other professional sports technically are called things where it's like they're not actually in that. Like the Los Angeles Angels, they're technically in Anaheim.
Right.
I think the Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays, they're technically in like St. Petersburg.
Right. Yeah, you can call yourself whatever you want.
Yeah, so it works. It's just it's odd to be in
There's
Indiana
a
and
lot
be
of
Chicago.
Teams, a lot of the New York teams are actually in New Jersey, right? Or were. So it is doable. It's not unheard of. But I think moving your whole stadium, I was looking like even from Soldier Field where it is now, which is like right in, literally.
It's in the heart of the city.
To one of the like closest bigger areas in Northwest Indiana. Like just if you were to go from Soldier Field to the very edge of Northwest Indiana, it's like 38 minutes.
Okay.
That's a huge deal.
That is a huge deal. It's not that bad. Like I was thinking it'd be more than that, but it's at least it's less than an hour.
Yeah, but they're your team, man. It's your city.
I don't like moving from Soldier Field at all because here's the thing. I love college football, and college football is all about the iconic stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
Soldier Field is one of the most iconic stadiums in the sport of football.
Right.
And so to get rid of that or to just not use it on a regular basis is kind of wild to
They're
me.
getting rid of it. It's going.
I don't
it's
like
over.
that.
It's not going to be around forever. They're getting a new stadium. It's just when and where exactly.
Yeah, this is the problem.
I mean, still 40 minutes. I'm sure this is a threat and they're going to figure it out. But like 40 minutes, that'd be like, you're like, I thought it'd be worse. That's like if they moved the Buckeyes Stadium to Dayton. I guess that's a little further. But
that's more like an hour. But yeah.
But is it that different though? Like once it's over like 15 minutes.
College would never do this though.
Yeah.
This is the problem. This is the NFL. This is professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
They are convinced that they need these new stadiums, and so they don't care about the history.
The Columbus Blue Jackets were moving to Circleville.
Right. Professional sports do not care about the history.
Yeah.
I do. I don't like that they're getting rid of Soldier Field.
Except the Packers. They would never do this.
Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.